For the sake of the certification, we're going to divide two words, developer and builder. So let's start with developers. Developers do everything that's required to prepare a piece of land before a home builder can show up on site and go vertical out of the ground and build a home. Developers do a lot of different things in your community, and a lot of times they are interacting with city officials and city engineers and county engineers and civil engineers, because what they're doing is they're taking a look at your master zoning plan. You've got a master zoning plan or a general plan as part of your city or part of your county. There's different parts of the city and different parts of the county that have specific use or set aside specific use for land requirements. This part of town might be for industrial, and then we have some retail and residential. We got office space over here. We have apartments. Apartments are here. We got the big park over here, and we got these single family homes. We have condos over here. Why do cities go through the headache of doing this? Because they're trying to create a more livable environment for the people who are in that area. And they don't necessarily want to have a situation where you have this, well, we got this big chemical plant and right next to that is a school and a church and a daycare. Maybe not such a good idea. And what you're trying to create is a more livable, enjoyable environment. General plan, general zoning plan, specific plan, these are all words that you're probably going to hear once you start delving into this environment. Highly recommend that you go to the internet and you take a look and see in your population or wherever you live, what is the governing authority that's dealing with that general plan. You're going to find that they have certain requirements that are given to them by the federal government and even the state government, and so a lot of that stuff is kind of pre-programmed, but it's going to help you become a subject matter expert in understanding what is the source of these zoning requirements. It usually all comes down from a higher level and gets segregated down into little areas. Okay, you got the general plan or the specific plan. Now we're talking about individual zoning. It's important for you to understand how this works because this is going to be tied very closely to building permits and understanding what the specific use is going to be in a location. If you're dealing with a home builder or you're dealing with someone who wants to build a custom home and you have a zoning issue because currently that land is not available for R or residential, R1, which is single family residential, you might have to go in and help your home buyer or your home building developer do a variance or having a change in the zoning. Again, this is a great opportunity for you to get involved. Every time you touch somebody in the city and every time you touch somebody in this process, you got another prospect. You have someone else who might actually connect you with someone else who is either developing a property, building a property, or needs your help in a sales and marketing capacity. It's a great idea. It's a great way to get involved at a highly localized level. Zoning is kind of an art and a science. The city wants to make sure that it's being respectful of the people who own that asset or own that property. They have ownership rights. You've got a bundle of rights that you probably learned when you went to your real estate licensing class. That bundle of rights includes a lot of different things. City governments want to be respectful of that owner, but they also want to be able to balance the interests of the greater community and also balance the interest of competing authorities maybe next door. If you've got a property and your neighbor's got a property and that person wants to do something that's kind of unusual or maybe not conforming with the overall zoning scheme in that location, there's going to be an opportunity for these people to have some kind of resolution. A lot of times there's going to be a public meeting that is available. If I'm a developer and I'm developing a master plan community or a large tract of land, I'm going to have to stand in front of the city board. There's going to be a hearing. The public can attend that meeting and they can weigh in on what I want to do. I want to put this big, huge factory next to the elementary school. Well, guess what? There's probably some people in the city that are for that, and there's some people in the city that are against that. Again, a great opportunity for you to become a consultant and become an expert in that world to be able to help these people plead their case to the public to be able to get their project approved. There are developers who specialized in what we call a master plan community. This is a very, very large subdivision or group of subdivisions inside of a much larger part of your city. A lot of times these developers are going to have large investments into large parcels, and they're going to walk this process through end to end and take all the burden off of these smaller developers or even the public companies in order to produce an inventory of lots and home sites to be able to sell to the public and also to other large developers. It's capital intense. It takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of expertise. There are large master plan communities and master plan developments that are springing up all over, of course, the United States. And they really started in probably the mid to late 70s. And they're really trying to create this kind of much more user-friendly end-to-end experience for someone who lives in a specific location. Imagine taking a city or a piece of dirt from scratch and making the ideal city where you have just enough shopping and you've got just enough residential and it's close to commuter freeways or highways, and it's got just enough office space but not too much, and it's grown in a very strategic and very specific way. Yeah, you have just the right number of schools when you need them, you know, and they put a lot of thought into, gosh, if we're going to have 1,000 homes or 4,000 homes, we're going to need another elementary school, and another 4,000 homes, we're going to need another middle school. Master plan developers are common in very large cities, and understanding who these people are and adding them to your prospect list is an incredibly great idea. Another specialization with developers is an infill location. So unlike a master plan development where you've got maybe miles of square miles of development opportunity or many, many acres of development opportunity where you're creating kind of a consistent, maybe even homogeneous environment, an infill person does something a little different. What they're doing is they take a look at development or redevelopment or repurpose opportunities within an already very well-established city. A good example of this would be, you see downtown and there's this really cool warehouse that's been vacant for 50 years and it's red brick and it's kind of cool, and so they take that warehouse and they turn it into condominiums. Kind of clever, right? It might be a large project, it might be small. It might be so simple as tearing down some old ancient apartment complexes and putting up condominiums or even high-rise buildings. Being able to understand who these people are in your market and becoming friends with them is going to uniquely position you to insert yourself as an advisor or a consultant in this opportunity. The next focus of a developer is subdivision and then individual home sites. Real estate developer is kind of an expert in being able to take a large parcel or an acreage, being able to subdivide it down into individual communities or subdivisions that are compliant with the general plan or the city plan. Then they take it to the even more granular level and create home sites, individual home sites or lots for sale. Sometimes these lots are sold in bulk and maybe it's 20, 40, 50, or 100 at a time. Or maybe what they do is they hold on to the vast majority of those home sites and they sell them off one at a time to a custom home builder or to an individual who wants to build a custom home who might pay cash for that home site, hold it for a period of time, or maybe even develop on it much quicker. Your takeaway assignment for this week is I want you to start getting a really good education about the zoning in your city. The easiest way to do this is just go to your city's website. There's going to be sections in there around planning, the planning commissioner. There might be a section for public hearings for specific building projects that you might want to attend. And the odds are really good. There's going to be some zoning information in there that you can educate yourself on zoning terms. And maybe even there's a master plan or a general plan that you can download and take a look at. Maybe it's even an interactive map. Take the time, take the effort, get on that website, do a little bit of investigation, and I'll see you in the next chapter.